You're watching Experience Comic Culture and Sales, streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
What if Hans Gruber from Die Hard had to battle the Joker from Batman the Animated Series in a dance battle? Or who would win in a race between Baby from Baby Driver and Snidely Whiplash? If Austin Powers and Shrek found themselves in a hot dog eating contest, who would emerge victorious? These are the questions we talk about on Nerd Killer Warfare. Debate the most absurd questions you've ever heard in popular culture. Register now by scanning the QR code or visiting bit.ly/EXP casting.
Hey, happy Wednesday. Look who I found wandering out in the wild.
What's going on, man?
He's finally back. Stargazer, hey, thanks for joining us, man.
I've been out in the woods for 2 weeks.
Welcome.
Something like that.
Oh, I know, right? All right, so we got Stevie B in the house, CJ, Cool Gamer, Marcus, what's up, man? Jeff Wedding. Let's see. Vegas weather is great today. That's good news.
Nice.
Hugh, what's going on, man? Easy Go Lucky. Who else is here? Let's see. Did I catch everybody? I think I did.
Quick,
Sheldon, what's up, man?
Let me just get this out there real quick. Everyone who texted, DM'd, IM'd, whatever, appreciate it. Thank you very much. My voice is a little not so much, but other than that, I feel great. Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate it.
Real quick, Amy left. She said good luck with these guys without her.
What?
But she did tell me to come in and say to everybody, please fill out your forms, even if you have in the past. Hashtag Amy's the boss.
Please tell me you got Amy chipped so we can follow her through town.
No, because that's creepy.
All
right, that's it. That's it. That's the only thing I have to say. I gotta go. Amy wanted me to tell you that. Hey, Stargazer, everybody, hit that thumbs up.
And weird, what's going on, man? All right, so
wait a minute. One more thing. One more thing. Real quick.
Here's who tells us who the murderer is. Jeff, you're right. Chaos reigns. Amy is gone. Yikes.
This just, you know what's cool? What do you have for a giveaway tonight?
I haven't decided what we're giving away.
Oh. I found this.
Ooh.
I love these Marvel Collectors items. So what do we want to do? Do we want to sell this for $1 or give it away?
I'll sell it for $1.
All right, first person to claim the Marvel Collectors item, it's $1. Rex saved the Green Hornet comic. That's right.
I forgot to put it back on the show. I just realized that when John walked in and sat down.
This will be available on Monday, but for now, $1 Marvel Collector's item. All right, I got to go. I got a lot of stuff to do.
All right, Marvel Collector's item for $1.
Oh, wait, I forgot something. I got one more thing. I found these. If anybody wants them, they're really hard to get. Deadly Hands of Kung Fu omnibuses.
Nice.
They are $125 each. I'll do the pair for $200. Mr. Easy Go Lucky, I think, claimed the dollar book.
All right, you got it, Easy.
Yeah.
These are $125 each. I'm pretty sure they're first prints. I don't think Marvel's doing this again. $200, and all the money will go to Fat Jacks. So if you're interested.
All right, so what is it now? How much?
Deadly Hands of Kung Fu, 2 omnibuses. All right.
I gotta tell you.
So how much? How much though?
200.
200
for the pair.
I gotta tell you, these are very,
Why so much Iron Fist comics? They went through my collection, and Rex said, these Deadly Hands of Kung Fu are pretty cool. What do you got that goes with it?
Yeah.
And I pulled some of my Iron Fists. All right, I got to go. There's other stuff to do.
All right, Thomas Bishop, what's up,
Wait.
man?
One more thing.
I am. Thank you, Tom.
John, I need your assist.
Hey, you need to hold something up?
Yes.
Absolutely.
You do half, I'll do half.
Yes, sir.
This will be on Friday's show. Hold that. Wait, I got to get this right. Hold that. Ken Hazer did this.
Look at this.
Oh, maybe we got to do
Yeah, I was
this.
gonna say, you gotta tilt a little bit.
commission cover art connecting. First time we've ever had Amazing Fantasy 15. Ken did this. It'll be on Friday show at 7. All the money's going to go to Fat Jacks.
Nice.
That's
So,
awesome.
and weird, the feed is not locked up on YouTube, but I don't know about Facebook, my man.
Facebook has been kind of glitchy today. A couple of the things I watched, I'm like,
All right, one more thing. Have a good show, guys.
Thank you. Thank you,
Jeff
CJ.
Wedding, let me ask you a question. Would you like to see connecting cover of any of the Star Wars movie posters? Let us know, because we got to buy as many Star Wars blanks as possible, because I heard Marvel's stopping doing the Star Wars blanks.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I had not heard that. All right.
Look at what Preston wrote.
I don't know.
Does anyone collect Spider-Man?
Some of those characters like Batman, nobody seems to be into. They don't do much with.
Hashtag,
Spider-Man
remember one
who?
thing, fill out the form. Hashtag Amy's the boss.
Amy's the boss.
All right, so
Thank you, Jay.
let's get to the best offer items first. All right, so first best offer item, Eternals #1, Greg Land variant, signed in silver by Greg Land. Suggested retail is $69.99, and it is our first best offer item starting at $20.
I like the cover here. You know, like it's basically dark and the only light is on the two. That's very cool. I like that.
All right, so then the next best offer item is Civil War #1, Mouse variant, signed in silver by Charles Soule. Suggested retail is $69.99, number 7 of 15, and it is a best offer item starting at $20.16 for 2016 for the year that Civil War came out.
Okay.
Yeah, Ed Weird, it's not on tonight, buddy. Anyway, so no worries, my friend. So Alec, how's your week been? So obviously, Robbie's pretty happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. His Cowboys eke out the win.
It's a shame he can't do the show anymore.
Yeah, right. He
That was
next week.
That was probably the best Dak Prescott's ever played in his life. Honestly.
Well, I mean, that game was a foregone. I mean, kind of a foregone conclusion. I mean, like Tom Brady has been a rough season. Let's call it what it is. I mean, when you can win the division with an 8-9 record, you got a problem.
Let's be honest.
I was gonna say all the Cowboys fans I was even talking with, and they're like, "Oh, we beat the Bucks." It's like, you realize that you beat an 8-9 team,
Of course they don't.
you
It's
know.
mathematics. It's the weird situation, and the big thing is, come on, man. Do you think that if Brady was 10 years younger, they would have won by a pinball score? Brady is kind of dragging this thing out, but he's done. I understand more and played longer than most quarterbacks. What is he, 45?
He's got it. I mean, he should have. I don't.
I don't
Well,
care
I don't know
how
why
much
he
of
came
this-
back.
I don't care how much
He's
of that
45.
cybergenic stuff from Switzerland he takes at like $100 a pill or whatever. The game itself has kind of passed him by a little bit, right?
Well, they're not going to. They're not. Well, he's not going to be in Tampa Bay. I don't think after this. His contract's up, I think, so it really doesn't matter. Preston, they've never beaten Tom Brady until Monday.
Yeah.
That was the very first time. The Brady story has just gotten, he made such a huge mistake coming back. Not only did he get divorced from his supermodel wife, but beyond that, he took his legacy and he just kind of crumpled it up now. This has been a very bad season.
Montana did it too, right? Joe Montana was considered a mold. I remember Joe Montana was considered the greatest quarterback of his age. And then all of a sudden he decides he's going to wing it one more time. And he's a 40-year-old guy that's about 180 pounds and he's hurt.
Yeah, but the thing about it, Montana didn't come back. Montana just went to Kansas City. He didn't come back. I mean, he was done. He was retired. And then like a boxer, it's like, you know what? I changed my mind. My wife's going to divorce me, but I think I got one more in me.
People ask me, one of the reasons one of my favorite athletes is an MMA fighter named George St. Pierre. He knew he was done. He took his money, took his belt. God bless everybody. And he went home to live with his supermodel Canadian wife, and they're home, and he's got a big farm. And I understand that the guy's got like a villa somewhere down in like Miami or something. And the guy never came back. He never said he'd come back. He never got suckered into fights that he didn't need to take. I love that guy. It's okay to admit. I understand if you have kids to feed and you're hungry or whatever, but it's okay to admit that, you know what, I'm 40 and I'm not that good anymore.
So, Marcus, you're right. Montana did take he was with the Chiefs 2 years, maybe 3. I feel like it was 2. And he did take him to the AFC title game one of those years. I think Montana's probably more like Peyton Manning, and short time at Denver. Enough, good enough field general to get them through. That's what I thought, Marcus.
Peyton Manning is a better pitch man than quarterback.
Yeah, well, that's
that guy's ask, I understand, is huge.
Yeah. Well, he and Eli, that show they do on Monday nights is hilarious.
Chicken parm, you taste so good, you laugh all you want to. I read online that's like a $9 million contract he scored.
I'm telling you,
for showing up in his sweats.
So
doing a little stuff with his brother.
What were you gonna say, Alec?
I was gonna say, well, I think Tom, he could have literally went out on top. He won that Super Bowl. He literally changed to a brand new team, won the Super Bowl. He should have just called it a day.
Well, I mean, you never know. I guess for somebody like Tom Brady to play as long as he's played, he's got a certain
so many
makeup.
gems on his hands. He looked like Thanos. He was done.
But he's got a certain mindset, I guess, and he's done some incredible things at a very, what is considered very old in this business. Obviously,
I said 45.
He is 45. No, he's 45. He's the dude's literally a legend, and he's, as much as everybody hates Tom Brady because we all literally lived through the dynasty of Tom Brady winning the Super Bowl every other year. It was annoying, but you can't fault that he's arguably the best NFL player that, I'm probably ever going to see in my lifetime. And just imagine like that legacy though of winning literally every year or every other year. You said, and everyone said, he's a system player, leaves to a brand new team and wins. I would just called it. I understand where he is though. Like he is that type of a guy where he doesn't want to quit. He says, I can keep going. I got this. I can do this. But that's a hard legacy to just.
1,000 viewers on this show. I'm going home with my comics. Bye.
We have no comics this week for you to take.
That's why Nick.
A vegan cheesesteak?
Yeah.
That threw me off.
That's why Nick is so busy today. He has to go find my comics for this week.
Oh my God, too funny. But look, it's not, but and weird. He lost everything by coming back. He lost his wife, divorce.
But he didn't lose his reported $160 million value, and he didn't lose like the 9 Super Bowl rings he has or whatever it is. So I'm pretty sure he'll somehow make it.
Well, if that were important to him, he wouldn't have come back in the first place. Right?
So have we shown any Iron Fist, any best offers? Have we sold that?
We did best offers. Yeah, we sold that one book.
What, the dollar book?
The dollar book, the Marvel Collectors item.
Apparently somebody would buy it for $1.
So after percentages and taxes, how much does Nick owe?
Yeah, really. I do love these Marvel Collectors items.
Tonight is like a martial arts night, and I dig that because my introduction.
Can we add like $2 for a bag of them?
Oh, I'm sorry. That doesn't include. My introduction to martial arts comics was Deadly Hands of Kung Fu. I talked about this on the show before. I was a big magazine guy, Curtis First guy. The first time I saw martial arts in
You're
comics,
like, why does Green Hornet not have his own magazine?
No, I would look at the covers and I'd be like, he don't need a haircut.
By the way, just to show everybody, this is how many magazines are in.
Yeah. I wanted people to know how cool these are. I just bought these digitally because I couldn't find them. If I could, I'd return them and just take these while Nick was busy. But I just bought these digitally. These are very cool.
Jerem, what's going on, buddy? Welcome back, my man.
My dad actually picked those up for his collection, I think like middle of last year. So he's got both those volumes too.
Ah, nice.
I should have got them when they were there. And it's one of those things where I'm like, because I have all the magazines, right? So I'm like, I'll get them. No, nobody has them.
Can you write this down?
I'm sorry, what were we supposed to say?
We got Jeff Wedding actually wants Marvel Star Wars number 7 or 35 cover.
Okay.
That's the commission cover art he wants.
You want me to text Ken and tell me it's going, or should I?
All right. If there's any other, by the way, if there's any commission cover art anybody wants to see, always let us know. We're happy to see what we can do.
All right. So Marvel Star Wars number 7 or 35 requested by our buddy Jeff Wedding. Got it. All right. So
I'm going to assume you mean me and my commissioned Green Llama cover for Project Super.
I got it.
And Nick is gone.
So Jerem, yeah, actually, I was rooting for the Seahawks. I mean, at that point in time, you're looking at a guy who's made his way back, and with Gino coming back and having a season of a lifetime. But it was a good game. It was worth watching. I kind of more or less ambivalent about it. But it should be interesting to see how Dallas. That was a weird game to watch. Actually, the entire weekend of playoff games was pretty weird.
It was a good weekend. It was a good weekend of games.
It was the Jags game, obviously. And weird, I haven't yet. I got to do that. That's a good point. So Robbie blank covers. I'll make another note. Yeah, it should be interesting to see what he comes up with. But yeah, it was the Jags coming back. That was absolutely incredible. All right, let me see here. Can we? Green Hornet and Cato CCA said, well, yeah, we probably would never be able to pry from John's hands. All right, but I'm writing that one down too.
After Nick gifted me the Joe Rubenstein Cato, it's kind of hard to top that. I mean, that's just, you can tell when someone does a character,
right?
Like if they're really into it or if they're just doing it. You can tell Joe Rubenstein by some of the characters he does. He enjoys drawing Cato.
Jay, email me that one, Jay Burns. That's actually a pretty good request.
Oh, Superman 78. That's really cool. I like that one.
So, but yeah. So it was definitely an interesting weekend of games. That was the Jags. Obviously, I'm a huge Doug Peterson fan.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
It should be interesting to watch them face off with the Chiefs. Doug played quarterback under Andy Reid. Marcus says, I want to rob you, Vampirella.
Marcus, you should probably go and find some of the Harris Vampirella covers.
No, they want 90s. Robbie to do it.
Oh, can he draw? No, kidding.
I don't think so. So that's why it's going to be interesting to find out what happens.
There was proportion issues with Vampirella in the 90s in Harris. I love the stories, and I've actually talked to a couple of the artists.
Right. And
even in the 90s, I'm like, just so you know, I've been reading these since the 70s. That's not how she looks. And they were like, if it sells, if it's snow, I was told by Jim Ballant, if it swells, it sells. I was like, all right, sir, thank you. He had a great attitude towards me. He had a big smile on his face.
Oh, my God. All right. So let's get the Dynamite 10-pack reader set. So that's 10 random Dynamite titles. Cover price is $3.99 or higher. So a $40 suggested retail or higher. And as always, as a thank you to our viewers, we have $5. 50 cents copy. You cannot go wrong there.
Especially if you get an Army of Darkness Reanimator book. Oh man, I'm enjoying that. I haven't enjoyed anything Dynamite's done like that in a long time. I'm really enjoying that.
That was a fun series.
So, and Weird says to Packers win. Well, you know what? That's interesting you bring that up. This season has been the season of the old guys need to hang it up. Okay. Aaron Rodgers didn't look very good. Tom Brady didn't look very good.
Doesn't this happen cyclically?
Did you see what he said too?
Yeah, about the MVPs.
Yeah, he said, I still think I could be MVP. Don't know where, but or something about that. But yeah, he said he still got the MVP in him.
Well, Gronkowski came out at him and criticized him for that statement. Should be Super Bowls, not MVPs, right?
Nice.
The first time I saw my father get into a bar fight, I was a little kid. And it was because somebody said that Terry Bradshaw had to go. I mean, I'm like 6, 7 years old waiting for my dad to come out of a bar. And the next thing I know, I see my dad has a guy. And they're kind of, doing like this because they're old drunk dudes. It's not like I'm watching like Shang-Chi or anything. And then a bunch of guys are pulling them apart. And it turns out it's like a Vikings fan and my dad, the Steelers fan, talking about Bradshaw had to go. He's bald, his arm is shot, his wheels are shot. He's punch drunk, he had to go. And for my dad, Terry Bradshaw walked on water. Now, at the time, they'd won 4 Super Bowls.
Right.
At that moment, nobody had won 4 Super Bowls like that. But the time comes and people are like, you know what, man? Give him a job in the front office. Yeah. Give him a new car. Send him to Hawaii, and he's all done.
You got to remember. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a business. Ed Weird, that's funny. Rodgers can be MVP in the XFL, maybe.
Yeah, I like that one. John on a lounge.
You know what?
Rex looking overworked and exhausted.
Yeah, that is a good one.
That's every week.
Here's the thing. And I guess the most recent occurrence of this is, we had the ugly Brett Favre going to the Jets thing. So John, I that's a good one. I don't know. I'll have to find out for you, buddy.
You know what? I want to see the Punisher with wooden bullets.
What?
If the Punisher's facing Dracula, I want to see him with wooden bullets.
Are you still on medication?
You don't read Vampirella, do you? You know how many times Vampirella...
Are you still on medication? I'm just asking. I'm just checking. All right.
If you actually read the product of the company,
he's on.
There's your answer about what happened to the weed. He smoked it on the way over here.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's on that tea from earlier.
Yeah, it's a little sprinkled up in that Wawa cup, boys and girls.
I'll tell you what's super funny about this friend. We dated in college. We stayed in touch. We came back. We met on Facebook. When I knew her, she was like a hardcore, 7 to 7 person. Taking the train into the city every day, working the numbers, she corporate clothes, whatever. Now I see her and she looks like a Rasta woman. She's got the hair, like the Janis Joplin glasses. She's living somewhere in West Virginia, covered head to toe in tattoos. And she's pitching all these lotions and potions. And I'm like, what's going on here? Oh, I have my own wellness store.
Right.
Do you guys see John S's comment?
Yeah, Dracula versus Punisher.
Dracula versus Punisher.
Next week, John. Next week.
Oh.
Next week. Oh, so that is a true request. I thought he was kidding.
No, that was true.
No, it's a legit.
Well, I hope it's true because it's being done. We can always just have the Punisher as Dracula.
Who's doing it?
Ken.
Tell him don't forget the collars.
The collars.
Well, it'll be fun. My pleasure, John.
Got to make sure you have the big collars.
I know, right?
Give the people what they want.
All right, so we got a lot of Iron Fist, plus a Marvel Premiere 25. How much is the Marvel Premiere 25?
The Marvel Premiere 25 is $10, and it is a presumed grade of a 4.0.
Yep, that works. All right, just want to make sure since you graded these and not Amy.
Yeah.
So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 13. That works. Not.
Iron Fist is one of those characters that managed to look like a bad man in slippers.
Oh, thank God. I was asked whether or not to make it look like Gene Colan. I said, yeah, of course you want to make it like Gene Colan. Dracula. So don't worry, Amy's the boss is on top of it.
All right. So
what's the giveaway hashtag tonight?
We're not doing giveaway hashtag. The giveaway will be how many times, and don't start guessing now. I'll tell everybody go. Okay, because then we get all this.
If you
stuff.
start guessing now, then you're disqualified.
No, you're not disqualified, but I won't write it down. So there you go.
From the chat.
So the contest tonight will be how many times did John watch Avatar: The Way of Water?
No,
you cannot guess.
Am I guessing a percentage of the U.S. and North America?
Well, first of all,
am I guessing by percentage of U.S. or am I guessing by percentage of North America? Or am I guessing by percentage of English language? Or am I guessing by percentage of worldwide box office?
I know you've mentioned that English is your second language. So I'll repeat it. You cannot guess.
Views.
You cannot guess. Views. We'll do that next Monday.
Oh no.
I think Megan was 3 because it has a 3 in there, and John thought that was the limit.
So I talked to somebody whose 11-year-old daughter thought it was fantastic, Megan.
They already approved the sequel.
So, they're obviously targeting
more than one be a valid guess.
Oh, they wanted to get
Ed Weird. It would not be. We will need an exact number, but I'll tell everybody when we're going to go. We could probably we got to figure out what the giveaway is first. So we might do I don't know, we'll figure it out.
M3 and I have seen quite a bit.
Yeah, Preston, no pizza. I'm a little disappointed.
And 3
I had pizza for dinner.
So, did you?
Yep.
Yeah, we had pizza on Monday.
Very cool.
We did.
I haven't eaten, period, so.
I suspect it
He's
was because Tim was here.
Everything here, $1.50. He's all lightheaded.
Harry and Meghan are in the sequel.
Oh, no.
Apparently, if you call the whale things whales on set, James Cameron would lay into you. Yeah, I think he might have a few control issues.
Some of the stuff I read about the making of that movie was, I'm glad I'm not in that movie, man.
So it's weird. Why
actually, Ronald sent me a great joke once. I'm going to repeat it real quick.
Okay.
But answer Ed Weird first.
Wait, what?
Answer Ed Weird first.
No, I was asking Ed Weird. Why are you having soup for the 20th day, my friend?
Hey, I had soup for almost 20 days when I was sick. It was just warm and hot.
Ed Weird's been sick.
No, I thought that was I thought that was CJ Design.
No, it's Ed Weird.
Maybe it is. Yeah.
How about this?
I had egg drop soup for almost
Joe
20 days.
Jusko cards from Red Sonja's 35th anniversary trading card series from 15 years ago. These were these box topper cards? I can't remember what these were for. But these were rare cards to get. So how about a set of these? Yeah, it's weird. He's been sick in bed.
Okay, yeah. For some reason, I didn't think it was you, Ed Weird.
There you go.
But all right, so that's the giveaway for the night. But we'll get to that in a bit. All right, so don't put your answers up
I was
yet.
going to say something.
The local place delivered soup to my house so many days. The one guy asked my wife when she went downstairs to get it, "Oh, is he feeling any better?" Because I just call up and I'd be like, "Hey, could you send a report egg drop soup?"
Oh my God!
Sure, man.
So CJ was sick too.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, but
COVID.
Ed Weird was sick as well, man. Something's going around.
Yeah.
But okay, I thought CJ, you'd been laid up for quite a while. So all right, so I'm not losing my mind. Well, maybe I'm losing my mind. But I didn't.
Those two things aren't mutually exclusive.
Yes, that is true. Those two things are not mutually exclusive. But
Is Lars Man here?
I don't see him yet. But maybe he's traveling yet. I know he travels a little bit.
It would suck if you missed out on this.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 600 signed by John Romita Jr. Limited to 125 in the world.
I mean, I always try to throw some Spider-Man in there in the event that Lars Man's with us. But
There's a few characters. Yeah, there's a few people still reading that book.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Time.
Not Alec. He's had it.
Hey, by the way,
Yes.
Miss Jen's here.
What did you want me to say? I totally forgot. I wrote it down somewhere.
I was going to say, congratulations to Space Cadet #1. Miss Jen King was named to I think it's the 2023 Eisner Committee.
Yep.
That's right.
I'm going to assume our invitations got lost.
That's a big achievement.
He's the only one that got.
Well, you've been laid.
I've been laid out.
So maybe
congratulations.
Maybe your wife grabbed it and ripped it up and threw it in the trash.
He spends enough money on comics. Get out of here.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
But congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations to Miss Jen.
By the way, I think I like my gift idea, my contest idea better than Rex wanted to get rid of these two cans and Rudolph.
Oh, I definitely want to get rid of Rudolph. That's without question. So I promised that I would eat Spam. What would happen? What had to happen though before I
thought you were eating the pudding Spam no matter what.
Oh. No, this is the limited edition figgy one.
Right.
But
you ate
since
that, right?
No, I haven't eaten it yet. But what did you throw up there?
That's why you're still here.
Yeah, what did you throw up there?
The regular ones.
Oh, the regular ones?
For the people who think Jen just might be, like the YouTube lady on comics, the article explains she's been in comics for 30 years. And it's kind of cool to see someone with, you always wonder. You see Eisner Awards come out, and every year someone was like, who's picking this stuff? Well,
oh, that's right, CJ. Thank you.
And a bunch of people are picking this stuff, and we know, you know what I mean. That we know people are qualified. So I think that's cool. I read that. I guess it was this morning, and I was like, That's the best news I'd heard in a while.
So that's right, CJ. Nick wears the red pants. I eat the spam. That's right. But now John's back. He can prepare it for me as well.
I'm gone for 2 weeks, and what are you guys doing?
Yeah, dude, I tell you, it's come off the rails. All right. So, JD, we got to take a break. Yeah.
We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Stay with us.
Talk about New Comic Book Day, a bunch of other stuff.
Did you know that every experience show, including some exclusive content, streams on Twitch? Check it out. Twitch.tv/the_EXP. Or just scan that QR code.
Hey, I'm Nathan Fox, co-creator of The Weatherman with Jody LaHoo, and currently wrapping up the 3rd volume. Stay tuned for more news on the experience.
Magazines, they really take you back to like a different time.
So, CJ, when is the DC movie news? Who knows? They keep saying, "Hey, Ron, what's going on?"
One day,
soon. So hopefully, we're going to hear something soon. Although last week we were, or was it Monday? I think it was Monday. We were talking about the new rumor about the hardcore Snyderverse fans wanting DC to sell Snyderverse to Netflix. Yeah, I know. So we spent a lot. Yeah,
here's the point where I am with DC's movies. I love DC characters. People don't know this about me. I love DC characters. I love DC creators. I love Legion superheroes. It's like one of my favorite things. Probably my favorite thing from DC. I love DC characters so much that I'm unable to read the books. That they're just so poorly misinterpreted. Like every character, the universe is constantly falling apart. Like they're incapable of just telling stories from month to month, with the exception of Batman. I get it. Batman's everywhere at all times, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Your favorite.
But like everything has like a little bit of success, and then they run it into the wall or the ground again, whether it's Flash or Green Lantern. I love Green Lantern. Green Lantern has had maybe 3 good runs in 20 years. Maybe. And by runs, I mean like 7, 8, 9 issues. Let's be clear. I don't mean like years. I mean issues. Jeff Johns, it started out real good. And then all of a sudden, he became the superpower that the Avengers are formed to defeat because no single editor can seem to rein him in.
So, JD, I would agree with that statement.
That's where I am with the studio. I'm tired. You've exhausted me with your stories.
Well, I mean, JD's right, though. Every day he doesn't say something, everybody's just anticipating what's going to happen. They build their own rumors. Alec, Jen has a question for you. Got any fave comics from 2022 that you should consider?
I just saw that and I was thinking about it. I'm going to be honest. A couple of people have even asked me if I was going to do a video. There's so many comics that I read this year, and I've read a lot of good ones. But I haven't actually put thought into like the best of this year, which ones that I thoroughly enjoyed. It just, I think overall, it just really was like a really good year. Some of the most recent ones.
2022 or 2021?
I don't know, but I wouldn't consider that in any good.
I don't. No.
No, I think that was 2022. I mean, some of the series. I mean, the reason I thought about it as like the best of 2022, because I mean, at that rate, would it technically be books that like series that only came out last year? Because I mean, the whole Miles Morales run from Marvel was phenomenal. Strange Academy still continued to be great, but I think that ended technically around June. But that obviously started before the year. I love both those series from Marvel. Outside of Marvel, indies, I mean, some of my favorite ones from Image, Philadelphia is great. Nita Hawes started up another great one. They should be pretty much read together. I know this one's obviously got some years behind it, but Power Rangers, I could not believe how much I thoroughly enjoyed Power Rangers. I mean, I grew up with it, but I wanted to wait to read it until all the deluxes came out, and they finally did. And I sat down, and that's some of the best written stuff that I've read in a long time. Honest to God.
Well, they're doing a Netflix reunion show.
Are they?
Here. Yeah.
I've actually I've been rewatching all of the original Power Rangers on Netflix for the last couple of weeks.
Nice.
It
I just read that today, as a matter of fact.
That's so cool.
Doing a reunion. So they didn't get everybody back, obviously, but they got a good chunk of them back.
Well, I mean, we lost the Yellow Ranger.
Yeah,
I don't remember her name, Trini. I don't remember the original name, her real name, original name. But obviously, Jason David Frank, he recently passed too. So Green Ranger's out. But I tend to keep up with the other Power Rangers too. Like I see what they're up to. I follow them on social medias.
Well, the first Pink Ranger is not coming back for the reunion. They couldn't reach an agreement, I guess.
Really?
So, will be the second Pink Ranger. Will be in the reunion.
I don't even remember who the second Pink Ranger was, but there's only one Pink Ranger in my book.
I'll tell you a name I would throw out there for what Jen is looking for is Night of the Ghoul.
Night of the Ghoul was really good. I only read the first two issues though. Because John, you missed it. I was telling Rex last week. I've been talking about how my shop is really cutting back on new comic book day stuff. Last week, so what they did was they used to put it all out on a table. They used to lay everything out. They'd section it, and then they'd put it together, and we'd all take it out, like usually Wednesday morning when I was still helping them out more. And then it turned into them just putting it in a long box, just kind of sectioned off because they cut down a lot. Last week, it was in a short box. All the new comic book day books that went on the wall. Every publisher, all the variants, everything, all was in a short box. And the short box wasn't filled. This week, it was probably 3/4 of a long box. But at the same time, about half of it was Marvel because they got all the covers for all the different books, and same with DC. Yeah. So DC and Marvel took up a little bit more than half of that 3/4. So indie wise, I mean, the indies I have here, like just these two off the top, Chroma and What's the Furthest Place from Here. I got the only copies. They only had one copy of each because I don't really use a pull list anymore. It's crazy. And I talked to them again about it, and they're like, yeah, it's new comic book day. We don't have as many pull lists as we used to. People don't read the indies, and they're
really not a profit center for them anymore.
No,
that's what they told me over at the store I pop into sometimes in Philadelphia. He said pull lists, like for anyone under 40, 35, just aren't a thing. They're just not, you know what I mean? Like he's like, our generation, your pull list was almost like you go through it all the time or whatever. He was like, and he was saying it's not, I have to find other ways. I mean, the store's packed, so I'm glad for him. But he was saying that he has to sort of, find other ways. It's not just his pull list anymore.
Right. So, the question becomes buying habits are changing for, per generation. So, that's an interesting question. How does that bode for the future for the LCSs out there?
Oh, I think the thing
and the Eisner love, I liked it. See, it came out in Comixology digital first. See, I've read it all. I don't know how many issues have come out. I don't know if the whole thing has come out in print, but the beginning of 2022, it all came out. It all came out digitally, and it was probably one of the wildest things I've read in a while.
So, Lyle, man, thanks for even tuning in for a little bit.
Wow. Good luck, man.
Yeah, let's see. He's in Ellesmere Island, Arctic Circle. I have no idea where that is, but I get him. I know where the Arctic Circle is. Wow, dude. Listen, yeah, right. Lyle, be safe, man. All right. We'll see you next Monday, or if you're not rolling around in a big snow and ice machine with 66-inch tires.
And please do me a favor. If you find anything in the ice, leave it. Just leave it.
I know. What if it's Captain America?
Leave it.
I'd leave it.
I can't chance it. One guy came out of the ice, and it's been amazing. Everything else that's come out of the ice has been a monster, demon, alien, Cthulhu thing. The odds are not good.
Oh, it's just fiction.
I think if I literally saw Captain America in ice and everyone's like, "Oh my god," I'd be like, I don't know.
He had his time, man. They got the statue of him in New York. It'll be fine.
I'd be taking selfies. I'm just saying.
But John, on a serious note though, with the poll list, I mean, I just got done saying it too. I don't keep a poll list anymore. I mean, there's some books like Something's Killing the Children, Miles Morales, and like some major ones like that I know are going to be continued with an ongoing series. But at this point, things are so different than they used to. I mean, back in the day, you go for a poll list, and what are you doing? You're getting the next issue of Thor. You don't have to worry about, well, which Thor are you getting? Are you getting the current ongoing? Are you getting one of the 4 mini series of Thor? Same with Spider-Man. Which Spider-Man did you mean?
Thor the end.
Yeah, like it's so different, and people aren't.
Which one Lyle is? It's up on the screen.
Oh man.
CJ said, and I'm worried about 6 to 10 inches of snow. Yeah. Lyle apparently told CJ to sit down about the snow concern.
That's crazy. That's just like a whole new level of cold. All right, let's get through the Iron Fist.
That's a great point, though. Alec makes a great point about. You know what I mean? It's really hard. Imagine you put Spider-Man on a pull list. You'd go that Wednesday and you'd have 16 books, and you'd be like, "What the?"
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So let's get through the Iron Fist that we have up tonight. All right. So all from the original Iron Fist, obviously Bronze Age, 1975, 76.
John Byrne did a lot of this stuff, and I got to tell you. You see Byrne do some really cool laid out panels of fights. And I don't know if that had been done a lot before in the comic format. Like it was seen in the magazine format, but if you look at some of those layouts Byrne has in some of these Iron Fist books, it's not, it's not something you saw a lot of. Byrne talked about that at a con years later, about in his mind, he used to try to think about like what it would be like the panels in a fight, right? Like a punch, what's the next panel? And the next panel should, realistically be, like the fist, whatever, the reaction, the fall over, maybe rolling. If it's a martial arts dude, maybe they roll through the punch. You know what I mean? And he gave thought to that. He said he watched a lot of martial arts movies. This is before the internet. He said he watched all martial arts movies to see, what happened in a kung fu fight. And I just thought it was really cool. These books are sort of like an age you don't see now. That's why I like the magazines too.
So speaking of the poll list, my shop actually, they gave me a new poll list with the books I picked up today, because they always give it if I fill one out. So this is just like, for example, of what we were just talking about. So say you wanted Avengers, they've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 different potentials for the Avengers on this upcoming month's poll list. Moving on down to Spider-Man, there is 4 Spider-Man right there, on top of 2 Amazing Spider-Mans, and then there's 2 other actual Spider-Man series, just with different names of it. If you're moving into Star Wars, you've got 3, 6, 9, 12 different potential Star Wars series that you could add on your poll list.
I just don't know how sustainable that is.
It's not. And then just X alone, like there's different X-Men titles that just start with something else. But as far as X-Men goes, you've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. This one's 12, right? Or 11. So at least 11 just with the X in it. And then Knights of X, Legion of X, Marauders are all right over there. So that's attacking 3 more on there. New Mutants, Lethal Legion, Nightcrawler. There's so much stuff out there, and it's really nice to have an array of different content. No, there's not extensive, but there's extreme. So there's at least that. But there's too much to do. Like, what if I was a shop, I don't blame my shop for any, for cutting back on titles like that. Do you truly expect them to get like 10 copies to 20 copies of every single X-Men title, and most of them are tie-ins? Murder World, they're not even doing a main event series for it anymore. I think they had 1 issue of Murder World, and now the rest of it are these tie-in parts to the story. It's ridiculous.
Somebody said in the comic thing that they just, because we've been talking about the end, we have the end up here. We're going to get to this in a little bit. It's like one of my favorite things they've done recently. He said months afterwards, they just arbitrarily reissued a new Spider-Girl, the end. And the reason we were having this conversation was he saw it in the store.
Right.
He's like, when did this come out? And his retailer said, oh, this was like 5 months after the end month or whatever it was. They did a bunch of them. Iron Man, the end, whatever. I think it was like 2020 or something. How is it like in 2021 you just arbitrarily do? I'm like, is it like a famous artist? Is it like, no, it was just like a different color, like another printing of it. And you know what I mean? It's almost like it's like good news, bad news. The good news is with all those books, there's something for everybody, right? All the comic book stores are full. Miss Jen talks all the time about how the shelves are full and her store is full. And that's great. That's the upside. The downside is it's almost too confusing.
Right.
It's almost like too much. And I think I almost wish they would find a happy medium. Like, I don't want you only do a few books a month, but I don't need you to do 36 books either. Well, I need you to do maybe a dozen titles of core characters with ongoing stories. And I just saw somebody mention Ice Station Zebra. Howard Hughes' favorite film, one of my favorite movies. Rock Hudson, Patrick McGowan. If you really want to know what's going on with Lyle right now, I think it's streaming on Netflix or Disney or whatever. Turn that on, and that's pretty much what Lyle is doing.
So the point we're talking about in terms of too many books, a saturation of books and titles coming out each month, affecting the pull list. There's another analogy in the late 80s into the mid 90s in sports trading cards that's kind of mimicking this. So I want to discuss that. But you know what? Let's get through the Iron Fist first. So tonight we've got Iron Fist number 2, and it is a presumed grade of 4.5. And we have the one available for $12.50. These are all original first printings. All right, so then we have Iron Fist number 3, and that is a presumed grade of a 5.5.
The Gil Kane covers. We had John Byrne covers. I'm trying to think who else did covers for these. This was when the martial arts craze had hit in movies and TV. And so, of course, Marvel decides, there were Sons of the Tiger, Daughters of the Dragon, White Tiger. There were a ton of these characters. Even though I think Shang-Chi was the first, Iron Fist, I think, sort of
was not too far behind.
Pushed its way to sort of, when it moved from magazine to comic book format, that's when I think Iron Fist really sort of, asserted. Plus, the stories were more varied. Shang-Chi for a long time was just, man, my dad's a bummer. And he's making my life miserable, right? So almost
still is.
Every seen Shang-Chi. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's always that. But Iron Fist sort of mixed it up with supervillains. He mixed it up with superheroes. I mean, I realize that years later that happened with Shang-Chi. But, Iron Fist in the 70s is in Marvel Team Up with Spider-Man.
Right.
And I think that's how they got that character's martial arts sort of marquee, the front.
Right. Well, I think during the time, it was also significant. But let me get through the list.
Sure.
All right. So then we've got Iron Fist number 4. and that is a presumed grade of 5.5, and we have the one available for 10. And the Iron Fist number 3 was also $10.
See, I give this guy Radeon credit because if I had radiation powers, I don't know if I'd bother to learn Kung Fu. I mean, that's industrious.
Then we've got Iron Fist number 5, presumed grade of also a 5.5, and we have the one available for $10.
When slays the scimitar.
So then we have Iron Man number 6, presumed grade of a 4.5, and we have one available for $8.75.
That's Iron Fist, by the way.
What did I say? Iron
You
Man?
said Iron Man.
Oh, I'm sorry. Iron
Get
Fist.
all excited. That's
Yeah, right. Sorry, my bad.
Iron Man number 6 was $8. Oh.
So then we've got Iron Fist number 7.
I think that's Colleen Wing.
Presumed grade of a 5.5, and we have one available for $10. Then we have Iron Fist number 8, and that is a presumed grade of a 5.5, and we have that one available for $10.
That's probably one of those. This was a T-shirt a long time ago, like that, you know.
Right.
So I remember John Byrne to talk about. They made this a T-shirt, and I never saw a dime.
All right, so then we have Iron Fist number 9.
Yeah, it's really
presumed grade of a 5.5, and we have the one available for 10. And then Iron Fist number 11, presumed grade of a 5.5.
The record
And
crew?
yep, and we have one available for 10. This actually, I remember owning this issue, and I read it backwards and forwards. I really love this.
There's a scene in this book where he hits the ball with his fist, and I just love that.
So, all right. So then we have Iron Fist number 13, presumed grade of a 4.5,
Right.
and we have
That's
that available for 10 as well. So, you know, timing was significant because, and you touched on it, that was right about the time that Bruce Lee movies started to make it across the pond, and it just took off, right? And then during that period of time, it was like a huge vacuum, and everybody was trying to fill it. And then, you know, unfortunately, Bruce Lee died, I believe, in 1973.
Yeah.
I want to say it was 73. And everybody realized that there would be no more Bruce Lee movies coming. And so first thing they did was they took his earlier films that he made in Hong Kong.
Death and,
Game of Death was never finished.
Oh, that's right. That
right?
was never finished.
Game of Death was his next English language feature film. That
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, which, you know, they did get that fight scene planned out, which was phenomenal, obviously, because of, you know, Bruce Lee was all 5'9".
It's the scene on the stairs everybody remembers, right? He goes up the stairs,
exactly.
Because Jabbar is so tall, he basically just goes up and grabs him.
Yeah, pretty much. It was like a dunk.
He dunks him. Yeah, it's kind of
so. And through the years, they tried to fill in. I mean, I saw some things come out of Hong Kong where they took the limited footage where Bruce Lee had filmed.
And you would
it was brutally bad. It was brutally bad. And
I used to buy a ton of stuff in Chinatown back in the VHS. And everything was Kato, right?
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I would buy it, and I would get it home, and after like the 5th or 6th thing I bought, I was like, okay, I get it. They were just no.
Yeah, there was a vacuum. So
he just would literally throw Bruce Lee on a poster.
Right. So they took all of his old movies, recycled them, you know, or the ones he made in Hong Kong and brought them over, and you know that was a handful of movies. You had. Well, in Hong Kong it was called The Big Boss, but it was Fist of Fury here.
Fist of Fury,
and
Chinese
then
Connection,
Chinese Connection.
What the real name was.
Yeah, and then you had Return of the Dragon, which also had a different name, and then they were done because he had made those 3 movies, then made Enter the Dragon, and then he passed away. Right. So then what Hong Kong ended up doing was they churned through all of these very poor martial arts films, but they knew there was a vacuum, so they just kept sending them over. You know, just kept sending one right after the other, and it just became crazy. And that's when, obviously, as you can tell from the timing of it, Iron Fist came out in 1975, right?
By the time you got to the 80s, Jackie Chan's Rumble in the Bronx went to real movie theaters,
right?
And I remember that was like ground shaking. Like,
it was
wait a minute, it's going to be in a real theater that you buy tickets for? And it was a great movie. I forget what Rumble in the Bronx is really called, Crime Story or whatever it's really called. But
no. Rumble in the Bronx was specifically a U.S.-made movie.
Okay.
So it wasn't something he made in Hong Kong and then crossed over. Actually, until until Jackie Chan started, making those U.S. kind of version movies, that's when they started to cross over. His very first movie, I remember, was, oh my God, Flying Eagle or something, right? It was very, very poor script, very poorly done.
By the way, did anyone here not see Rumble in the Bronx that is planning on seeing it where there could be a spoiler?
Oh no! After 40 years,
From what? From what year was it again, Chuck?
I think this is 40th anniversary. I think.
Yeah, I'm going to warn everybody. If a movie came out in 1995, thank you. If a movie came out that long ago, yeah, okay, we're spoiling it.
I'll put it to you this way: I got introduced to Jackie Chan. I was at Ron Lim's house. But this is how I got introduced. Laser discs. He had a huge collection of laser discs. And I'm like, I gotta, him and Jimmy Palmiotti are two people I knew who had laser discs. And I'm like, wow, I should get these. But they're so, bulky and everything.
First one I had was
and a year later, 2 years later, boom. But I gotta tell you, if somebody threw your friend through a shredder, would you carry the whole bag of gook with you, or would you just tell your friends?
Yeah.
I don't think I'd carry the whole bag of gook.
I'm thinking it's cheaper to hire somebody.
Wait, buddy, Jason ain't gonna make it. Just let you know, Jason ain't gonna make it this week. Just
Operation Condor, Marcus. Yeah, that was a good one as well.
Operation Condor.
Here's the thing.
By the way, Marcus screwed me up on Friday.
Why would he do?
He said, "Oh, it's my son Jason's birthday today."
Oh, nice. I like that one.
I was like, Marcus, I didn't know you had a kid. Everybody realized what he said except me.
If you want Marcus to stop giving you a hard time, just wear the red pants and we're all good.
Oh, yeah, that'll stop everything.
Of course it will. But Wheels on Meals Police Story.
I got to eat.
Yeah, you should do that.
Did you sell anything yet?
No. Other than the $1 book. We just went through all the Iron Fists.
How much are the Iron Fists?
Well, they're different prices, Nick, but they're the highest one would be number 2.
Just start with number 2. How much is number 2?
$12.50.
All right, we'll make this $10. All right,
so that's down to
$10. How much is number 3?
Is $10.
Is there a number 3? Oh, here it is. All right, we'll make number 3 $8.
All right, so that's 8. And then number 4 is also $10.
Let's make this 8.
Okay. And then number 5 is also $10.
8.
All right. And then number 6 is $8.75.
How much?
$8.75.
Make it 7.
All right. And then number 7 is also $10.
Make it 8.
And then Iron Fist number 8 is also $10.
Marcus, do you know I'm not the brightest bulb in the warehouse of boxes of bulbs? What was the next one?
Number 8, and it's also 10.
Oh, that's a great one too. $8.
Okay. And number 9, which is also 10.
$8.
Number 11, which is also 10.
8.
All right. And then number 13 is also 10.
8.
And then Marvel Premiere featuring Iron Fist is also 10.
8.
All right.
I know nobody's getting paid today, Sinner, right?
So there you go. So Nick just slashed the prices again by like $250.
Did we show any of the commission cover art?
We have not yet.
Oh my God. All right. Check it out. This is awesome.
Okay.
Where's 14 and 15? I kept 14 and 15, Marcus. I'm sorry. I had to keep something.
All right, so that's
I'm allowed to keep some stuff in my collection.
All right, so Goblin Nation number 1 signed with the Spider-Man cover sketch by Joe Del Beato and Mariano de Cieza, and it's just a retail of $119.99, and we have the one available for $75. Oh, all right, Sheldon is claiming. You got it, Sheldon. It's claiming the Marvel Premiere.
Good one too.
So that one is gone. All right, Nick just flash, and you can flash that up for us, JD. Oh, wait. And Sheldon is claiming
number 8 and number 12.
Number 8. Okay, Sheldon. And number 12. Wait, we don't have a number.
We don't have a 12. We have
11 or 13.
11 or 13, buddy. By the way, killer cover.
That's John Byrne cover. We talked about that. The perspective of the fist is real.
13 or 11.
Did somebody buy this?
Yeah, Sheldon.
Good job.
I know you're busy tweeting about food,
Nah.
getting me jealous.
Okay, so Sheldon says 13.
You got it.
All right,
Dynamite
Sheldon.
Cafe is opening up this year.
You got
All
it,
right.
buddy.
So this is like Marvel stamp Kirby goodness. What did you say this one was?
It's just a retail of $119.99, but we have that one for $75.
Let's do it for $62.19.
We should
All
see if we
right,
can throw the colors some work. I like that.
$62.19.
This is so Marvel sticker.
Yeah.
Kirby. What else we got? Screech.
We have
Scream.
Scream.
That's
Yep.
a sweet one.
One signed with Scream. Cover sketch by Geoffrey Gwynn and Mariano Nicieza. It's just a retail of $99.99. We have it at $62.19.
Let's make it 55.
You might have a future in the industry.
Screech is Saved by the Bell. What else?
You talking about cover sketches?
Oh, Failsafe. The hottest book. Chip Zdarsky working on Batman. The Batman hardcover of the first volume with Failsafe sold 80,000 copies. Dustin Diamond Screech. So these are first prints of Batman 129 with Failsafe. How much are they?
This one is just a retail of $89.99, and we have it for $69.99.
Tell you what, if somebody buys, they're $69.99 each. I'll bring them down to $65 each. These are really hot books. But if somebody buys both, we'll make it $120. I got to go eat.
You don't have any money to eat now, sir. I'm sorry.
Yeah, really. Tell me about it.
The dinner budget has been slashed by the poor.
All right, so there you go. The pre-dinner slashing and dicing.
7 o'clock. Do we have to take a break?
We do, actually. All right, so we'll go to our next break, and we'll be right back in a couple minutes.
Programming on the EXP is made possible by viewers like you, or your local comic shop, or that Kickstarter you backed, or the publisher you like, or comic industry professionals who want to share a message with the world. Really, anyone who wants to advertise with us can. If you're interested in seeing a product you know and love, or are creating, or are publishing, or are involved with, advertised here on The Experience, and having your message shared with our viewers, please reach out by scanning the QR code below or visiting our website and using the contact form.
This is The Experience.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hey there, hi there, hello there. You're as welcome as can be.
Hi, I'm Nancy McCann. Welcome to Friday Night Live on The Experience.
Welcome everybody to Fat Jack's Comic Crypt. Brendan, Al, Jason, hanging out.
There I am. Welcome back to Kicking It with Henry, folks. I am your host, Henry Kumpel. It's great to be here with you guys.
So we are going to talk about books that are in stores this week.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Mishmash.
Hello, and welcome to the Black Comics Universe, presented by Peep Game Comics.
And you gotta love it that the first people in the minute to skim it are creators.
Up, everybody! Welcome to another Wednesday Warriors. My name is Joey Galvez, and this is my pal Ambrosia.
Hey, everybody! Welcome to Space Cadet.
Hey!
What's up?
Welcome, everyone, for another episode of I Must Ask You a Question.
Hi, everybody! Welcome to Nerd News Now.
Hey, this is Rex. Welcome to Comic Collectables.
Hey, hello, all you happy people. Welcome to the Dan Wickline Show.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. This is the crazy show that we do on Thursdays called What's in the Box? What's in the Box?
Comic culture and sales.
STB, not only was Mariano an editor at Marvel, but if you remember Tech War by William Shatner, he actually put that deal together as well. He actually, I think, helped get Shatner on the Tonight Show to talk about comics, which was really cool. So,
and he's still friends with Shatner.
Yep,
to this day
he is. What have you showed so far? Just the Civil War?
Eternals and Civil War.
The most important thing is he signed my books.
So Eternals #1, Greg Land variant, signed silver is the best offer starting at 20.
Yeah.
And Civil War #1, signed by Charles Soule, is best offer starting at $20.16.
Tell you what, while waiting for my food, wow, this is #2 of only 20. Why don't we just make this 20? First person to claim it at $20.
All right. So no longer a best offer item.
And Civil War. Oh, Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. variant. Nice. We'll do the same thing, but whoever claims it at $20 gets it.
20. Okay. All right. So those two are now just buy it now is like $20.
So.
Stevie B, Daddy Man. Yeah. He did mention it. Yeah. When he was on air with us, Mariano.
Yeah.
Mariano has had like a super interesting career in this industry. He's very generous with his time when he has it. Him and I have spoken a few times about just different, little things or whatever. His knowledge of like the genre in general.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I like some pretty obscure stuff.
Oh, and he loves those Gold Key Star Treks as well.
Him and I were talking about Gold Key and Whitman, and he's really, Western publishing characters. This is a guy that sort of bridges today when he's coloring books live on the air, and that almost like forgotten time when people were buying books in stores that don't even exist anymore.
Right.
We talked about that. Not only do the books and bags, that format doesn't exist anymore, although I understand Walmart is doing some books now or whatever, but the stores in which they were sold, like there were people in South Jersey that would beg their parents to drive them up to North Jersey to go to Two Guys so they could get like 5 comics in a bag for a quarter.
Right.
And of course, there wasn't much in South Jersey when I was a little kid, so you got on the parkway and you went it. These stores don't even exist anymore.
So I used to buy a lot of comics at the Reading Terminal Market. Mm-hmm. The ones that were supposed to be sent back, they were selling them for like a nickel a piece. Mm-hmm. But you'd always have the front cover sliced off.
The cover, the returns were never. They didn't want to deal with all those returns, right. So you would just kind of where this says Iron Fist, this would be sliced off, and then you could get like a 25-cent book for a nickel.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, I'd go over there with like a thing.
Yeah. or they get really good and bundle them for like, $5 for a dime or something like that.
Well, one of the things I used to get when I was a kid, my dad's lunch truck is they would always give me the change, right? Like my dad would sell a guy lunch and chips and something to drink, and it would come to like $3.75, right? They'd always give the kid the quarter because I would just run around and bring their stuff. End of the week, I had this fistful of quarters. One day my dad looked at me when we were getting gas. He's like, gas should be on you. And I would come back from Reading Terminal Market and these other places. My mom is like, she's like afraid I'm stealing these or something. I'm like, no, they're a nickel. And, that's how I got to read so much stuff.
The place that I remember in the Reading Terminal Market, and it's changed a lot since then, but there was like a little open bookstore there, and they'd have them lined up.
Book Nook.
Maybe that was it.
Book Nook.
But do you remember, like right there towards the exit, there was like a seafood place, and they would serve the best New England clam chowder soup, dude. So that brings back some memories.
It's changed, but it's still the same.
It is, but it's definitely changed. They started to when the city started to get gentrified, they tried.
Yeah, all the stuff you would get. First it moved out to Chinatown, then it moved out to Kensington. Like all those markets sort of got pushed.
Yeah,
further
pushed out
and further away. Someone asked an interesting question for. I wish we had a book tonight. We're talking about martial arts books. We have Kung Fu. We have Iron Fist. Somebody brought up a very cool character that gets forgotten almost every time. People remember Karate Kid from the Legion of Superheroes, right? They'll remember some of these other Marvel martial arts characters because, quite honestly, Marvel probably did a better job with martial arts than DC did. DC had a book called Richard Dragon, Kung Fu Fighter, and it was really, really cool. And the idea of that book was very similar to one of the characters that Entered the Dragon. Not Bruce Lee's character, but John Saxon's character. This guy was sort of a traveler, worldly, money, blah, blah, blah. But he just, his parents, he knew Kung Fu, right? So, like Bruce Lee knew Kung Fu from knowing Kung Fu. You know what I mean? Learning Wing Chun in the streets or whatever. This guy had tutors. You know what I mean? Like his family was super wealthy. And they would have, and then he lost all his money. So he had to become an adventurer. And the only skill he had was he knew Kung Fu. So Richard Dragon is kind of, if you can ever find issues of that, it's not very popular. There's no issues of it out there, like reissues. I've never heard anyone say, hey, let's do Richard Dragon again. I think Richard Dragon was brought back in a Batman animated show, like 2021. It was like a martial arts Way the Bat or something, where it was all it's essentially a rip off of Enter the Dragon.
Marcus, that is correct. So here's especially in Hong Kong, I think Bruce Lee, given the sudden rise to stardom, he became a true legend. I mean, the gossip papers in Hong Kong.
That's all totally missed. We were getting ripped by our producer for our caretakers, Alec's patients. Like Alec is getting ready. He's listening before he gives us our meds to say goodnight. Scroll back and the comment is
I saw that from
patiently listening to old man.
I figured that's what the smirk on Alex's face was about. But here's the thing.
Somebody asked in the chat about Richard Dragon.
Well, there's so many different legends about Bruce Lee, but from what I heard, because my mom was all into buying those papers when I was young and reading about all the gossip and stuff. But Bruce Lee actually went to Ip Man to learn Wing Chun because he was not a very good student. And his parents figured that sending him to learn martial arts was a way for him to develop some discipline. Okay.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
But that didn't quite work out that way. But I mean, it was definitely something that worked out okay for Bruce anyway. But the thing about it is the power of Bruce Lee, which I find amazing, is that, as Marcus said, he learned from Wing Chun master Ip Man. What's interesting is that when Donnie Yen made the first Ip Man movie, all of a sudden, someone that nobody really knew, only knew through Bruce Lee. After that movie by Donnie Yen came out, all of a sudden he became this character shrouded in mystery and everything else, and become very dramatized. As I understood it, Ip Man had fled to Hong Kong, I want to say before the Japanese occupation. There's a lot of haziness about Ip Man's history, that period of time, obviously, because of the war and everything else. But I just think it's so interesting.
Stevie B brought up a thing. Richard Dragon was brought back in the DC series. If I remember correctly, he was like a Russian mob connected or attached or involved dude or whatever. I remember reading it after it came out and being super unimpressed. And to get rid of the memory of that, I went back and I read the old stuff. You know what we should do, though? Probably talk about books that came out, not just this century, but this week. Alec, what came out this week that you liked?
There's quite a few good books that came out this week. One that I want to talk about in particular. Not that it was like good or anything, but the new Hulk series. Well, it's not new anymore, but the Hulk series. So I don't know what's going on with Donny Cates. I don't keep up to date with happenings in people's lives or whatever. But he's not on Thor anymore, and he's also not on Hulk anymore. Ryan Otley took over as the writer and the artist on Hulk, and I guess he's taking a hiatus from all of his books. So I guess his indie ones are currently put on hold, and as far as his Marvel ongoings, he's not doing it now.
So he's done a lot of work in not a lot of period of time. I can maybe see where he was like,
burnt out.
Hey, I want to take my family to Disney World. Give me a break.
Well, the thing is, though, is he's in the middle of writing. Like, the arcs weren't wrapped up, and it's not like he wrapped up a story. It's like, all right, new writer's taking over. Like, there's no announcement. It's just like he's just not on it anymore.
Right.
So I don't know if something happened. I don't know what the deal is.
That's a little bit odd. I mean, you never know. I mean, we don't ever like to crawl into people's lives on this show.
What are you talking? Oh, on this show. I'm saying, what are you talking? Society? Well, how do you think reality TV takes off, man?
No, I'm talking about this show. Like, if a creator, he or she, I mean, maybe we'll say, oh, look, he or she posted a Lego Death Star thing. And yes, of course, I mean, Amy Chu. But, like, the real personal stuff, we sort of, if he's saying personal issues are forcing him to go on a creative hiatus, all I can say is, I hope all's good.
Yeah.
Wish him well.
Hope he comes back soon.
Hope he returns when he's ready.
Yeah.
So what else did you see this week coming out?
Let's see. So outside of that, I think I got 14 books this week or 13 books. There's a couple I missed out on. The one I missed was I think it's called Nightclub from Image. It's a $2 book, and the first issue was so good, but I ended up missing out on that one. Alien continues to be good. Deadpool's great. Punisher's great from Marvel. Like, Marvel actually had some really good books come out this week. I like to talk a lot of crap on Marvel, and speaking of, that's what we were doing earlier in the show. But those, but at least those books, they're all ongoings. And like, Deadpool, Punisher, Alien, it's an ongoing series, and they've done a great job with it. It's right. You can tell when Marvel's milking some of their characters for their series. Like, oh, let's release another Spider-Man. Let's give him another event, as he has an ongoing happening right now with a different event. It is what it is. But indies, I'll tell you, the indies. Oh, I think it's JD tonight. If it's JD, man, this Alien series. In the beginning for this new. So the way it's set up. So like, this is issue number 5. When in reality, it's not issue number 5. It's the 3rd volume of their current series.
That's what I was going to say, because the first one was 2021.
Yeah, I think it came out last year, or two years ago. We're in 2023 now.
And
but
that was good. The first one that came out was good. Right?
I think the first one was better than the second one. The second one started off better, but it kind of fizzled out. This third one didn't start off so hot, in my opinion, because they started getting the synthetics more involved, and they kind of had powers. And I was like, I don't want to read a superhero alien book.
That's the vibe I had, because I read it a little bit here and there. And as soon as I heard, oh, they're kind of like growing superhero, like superpowered synthetics, I'm like, I get where that would make sense in their universe, but that's kind of not what I would read Alien for.
I will say though that they didn't really continue on with that at all. It kind of seems more just like a regular synthetic, and they use guns, so they're not really using powers. If they even have any, maybe they forgot that they wrote that in the beginning of the series. But it's so good. It is really good. It's probably the best volume in my opinion. But on top of that, so another series is Chroma. I really like Chroma. It's a thicker book. It's oversized. It's got a nice cardstock cover. It's wonderfully done. They've done a great job on the whole thing. It does have an $8 price tag, and I think that's a problem with that because it is expensive.
Right.
And usually I think they justified it with the price. Like, the first 2 issues, they really had a nice story. They did a lot. This issue, it was really good, but it felt more like just like an oversized issue that they didn't really add a lot of stuff to. So I don't know, $8 was a little steep to me. But as far as $8 books go, I'll tell you what, that Batman One Bad Day Bane issue, oh my God, was that good? I'll tell you what, that blew my mind with how good it was. I couldn't believe it. I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't believe how good it was. It's one of the best comics I've read in a very long time. I was impressed with it.
I mean, I had someone say to me on Twitter, you guys don't seem to like a lot of books. I don't. We want to like the books, and I kind of mentioned this on Twitter a little while back. Somebody actually singled out the Wednesday guy doesn't like a lot of books. First of all, that's not true.
It's true.
The Wednesday guy is wanting to like everything he buys.
I buy a lot.
You buy a lot, but when you're getting to that price tag, and I think we were talking about a book that was like $6.
Right.
I said, even if you're not old AF like we are, if you're someone who was paying $2 for a book when you started getting into comics, $6 is a lot for you to buy a book. Maybe it's relevant, maybe it's not, maybe it's good, maybe it's not, or to take a chance on something. Just new random title, special price tag of $6 or $7. That's a lot of money. Especially this seemed to really kick into gear during a pandemic. People were home, they were reading more, but also keep in mind, like people were losing jobs and stuff, right? And now you're asking them, now you're asking them to pay $6 and $7 for a book. I just, what I think, if anything, there should be if you're launching something new, not connected to a franchise, whatever, especially if you're like maybe Valiant or Boom or something, it wouldn't be the worst idea in the world to maybe have an introductory price for that first issue. I mean, if they're doing Planet of the Apes or whatever, that's fine, man. Everybody knows what that is.
John, their introductory price is usually pushing $7 to $8 because it's the first issue of the series. That's their welcome.
That's crazy. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter that I'm old. I mean, just the economics.
Here's the thing. So we kind of touched on that earlier, right? So I wanted to address this because there is a historic comparison to this, right? So as you said, right, as you went through your pull sheet and talking about all the number of titles, like if you wanted Avengers, how many you would have to purchase. And in the mid 90s, I want to say mid to late 90s, that problem actually hit the sports trading card industry. So what had happened prior to that was it was very easy. You would issue something, whether it be baseball or whatever license you had as a trading card company. It was not unheard of. You could sell 15, 20,000 cases of that product, okay, all wax boxes. And then what ended up happening right now, what happened was that eventually the price per pack and the price per box kept going up and up. So all of a sudden people started buying less and less. Then all of a sudden you couldn't sustain 15 to 20,000 cases for a particular issue. But the problem was a lot of these trading card companies were public companies who live and die by the quarter. So they still had to show the sales numbers. So what they ended up doing was they said, okay, so what we got to do is we can't plan on selling 15 to 20,000 cases of something. So let's create a sense of scarcity by doing limited issues and saying that only 1,500 cases are ever going to be printed, right? Which kind of worked. But then that made the price per pack go even higher. And then, obviously the cost of constructing these trading card sets went up because the thing about it is if you're trying to chase, okay, well, we need to sell 20,000 cases this quarter. We used to be able to do it with one issue. Now we got to break that up into 5 or more, right? Or 10. And the problem is that all of a sudden your cost for each product sold now has gone up because if you're going to do 10 different issues in a quarter as opposed to one issue, well, you got to come up with all different pictures, all different copies, all different designs and things like that. And then you're trying to get more and more per pack. And pretty soon what you ended up seeing was, number one, they lost the kids, all right, which was a key component. Because once you lose the kids, then you don't have that next generation getting into trading cards, right? Because packs were getting ridiculous. You were looking at $10 pack of cards. What kid has $10 floating around their pocket? So then you were catering to middle-aged collectors and people who had some means.
I will definitively say right now, no matter what you do not market to middle-aged people. We are a horrific group of individuals.
No, it's worse than that.
Just horrific.
But it's worse than that because although
First one's at the airlock. I'm just saying it now. The old people have wisdom. The young people have value.
But here's the thing.
Us middle-aged guys.
But here's the thing. People were willing to spend the money, but there was so much product out there now. So people are like, well, what do I collect? And then you saw the inevitable turn where people said, I give up. I'm not collecting cards anymore. I can't figure out what the heck to collect. And they exited the industry. They exited the hobby.
Well, it's a little bit what Alec was talking about. When there's 10, 12, 14 versions of a character, hopefully it doesn't happen, but I guarantee you there's someone who's been reading Spider-Man. Let's just say they're not old. They've been reading Spider-Man for 15 years. I don't think that's unrealistic, from high school, middle school. They've seen 9 different books, and they're like, you know what? I've seen 3 Clone Sagas in 15 years. My father has seen 6 Clone Sagas. I think I'm good.
And that was actually probably my least favorite part of the last Miles Morales series, because that was the one and only thing that didn't seem original, because it's like, oh, Clone Saga. No, not again. But
There's
I think
2 things that can't pull from Spider-Man: clones and superheroes.
Welcome to economics and comics.
I think what Rex was talking about is the most true thing, though, is just you as a collector, like, it doesn't matter what you do. If you read it or you want to buy it for maybe speculation, maybe you want to flip it, maybe you want to hold on to it, what have you, however you collect in this hobby, they're not making it easy to collect. If you like to read it, you've got 5 different versions of Spider-Man out in the market right now. What do you want to read? You've got a couple different series for Thor. There's not really a main ongoing, because they constantly end the ongoing to restart a fresh one. So if you're going for numerical value, it's not really that easy to keep going with it, because you have all these different options out there. And because they keep having all of these different series, there's not really any new characters. And if they are new villains, they're usually one and dones, and they don't really have any meaning for anything. There, you can tell, as someone who reads these series and like wants to enjoy these series, Marvel in particular. I mean, it sounds like I'm really dumping on Marvel, but they're just the target in this conversation. They're making, you can tell that they're doing this for a cash grab. They want to make as much money as possible, and they're trying to squeeze as much money out of these characters as they possibly can. They're not keeping, they don't have in mind a collector or someone who wants to read this stuff. They just want to pump out another popular character.
It's a public company. The math numbers have to math.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you know what I mean? Stevie B, real quick. I
wanted to address that, because that's
Stevie B. I got to be honest with you, man. That sounds fake.
I'm gonna say it. I'm
just gonna say
Stevie B. That's as fake as the day is long.
Yeah, that's
that. There's no
here in New
way
Jersey,
that.
we call that
Yeah,
the Daisy.
yeah. That there's no way that a Bob Kane sketch is selling for $125 on eBay.
I don't care.
Well, no. Let me rephrase that. It could sell on eBay. They have that kind of stuff all the time, but there is absolutely no way that thing's real. COA.
R is for rant.
Yes.
I love that. Yes.
We got a hashtag AR rant.
Man, I don't even care. And the guy that you said earlier, I was like, hey, the guy on Wednesday, it sounds like he doesn't really like a lot of books. On a bad week, I usually read around 50 to 60 comics. Like, there's a lot of good ones out there.
Wait a minute. Let's call it what it is, okay? All right. Nobody watches the weather on the news when it's partly sunny and 65 degrees, okay? They watch the news for the weather when there's going to be 10 inches of snow, polar vortex, and minus 20, okay? So, to be quite honest, to me, if all you have to say is, oh, I read it, I love it. Oh, I read it, I love it. I guess what? Ain't nobody.
The point I wanted to make is we all know there's trolls out there that hate anything. It doesn't matter what it is, right? They hate everything. Star Wars movie, doesn't matter what it is. They're going to trash it, review bomb it. There are people who sort of get the sheer joy out of being bad. Yes. I get it. Bring on the bad guys. I get all that, right? However, that's not Alec. Alec starts each week hopeful that what he's paid for is going to be good and worth his money. His quote, to use a term, his gimmick isn't being a troll. His gimmick is being a guy that reads, discusses, buys, and sells comics.
Right. And
there's no value for him
right
when almost everything is terrible in a given week.
So, Preston, you're right. For Lyle Hobson, if the weatherman says it's going to be 9 to 20 and 10 inches of snow, for him, that's just Wednesday.
That's a sunny day.
All right, we got to go to our last and final break. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll get to the rest of the books. We'll talk a little bit more. And then we will run the contest of how many times John has seen Avatar: Way of the Water. All right, so stay with us. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Why was Princess Zelda sad after watching a bunch of YouTube videos? She couldn't find a link in the description. We'll stop if you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's super easy. Click subscribe and click the bell when you do. And thanks for supporting the EXP.
Imagine being at a convention and going to an interview panel that's just for you. No bustling crowds, no hours-long lines, just you, the moderator, and your favorite comic book creators. Well, this is pretty much that. Miss Jen sits down every week with 2 comic book creators for a live stream interview about their latest work, and you can ask them whatever you want. It's Talking Shop, Mondays at 5 Eastern on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales.
You know how when you go to Comic-Con, after Comic-Con, you go to the hotel bar, and there's a whole bunch of people playing music and dancing, and you've got Pikachu and Lara Croft Tomb Raider doing the cha-cha slide just down from Deadpool and Batman and Wonder Woman? That's every Saturday night over on the Experience Twitch channel. Join Taji Beats for the EXP Dance Party, exclusively on Twitch, twitch.tv/the_EXP. Go follow the Experience on TikTok at @the_EXP1 or scan the QR code on the screen. Our TikTok is like everywhere else we are, except you only have to deal with us for a minute. Seems like a win-win to me.
Comic-Con 2022. I write the Underfoot graphic novels with Ben Fisher and our artist Michelle Wen, and it's great to be here. You are watching us on The Experience.
So we're back. So Stevie B, yeah, I wanted to address that. The problem with certificate of authenticity is that it is only as good as the company that issues it. So ironically enough, I started my career in collectibles way back when the first standardized COA was developed, okay? And it was in sports. And it was first developed for Joe DiMaggio signed items, mostly baseballs.
How old are you, Joe DiMaggio?
Yeah, I met Joe D.
Oh my God.
Greatest living Yankee. You can only at Yankee Stadium. What's that?
I have a Joe DiMaggio question.
Okay.
How do you dunk his donuts?
In Mr. Coffee.
Mr. Coffee.
Okay.
All right.
I only know that from Seinfeld.
Yeah. So the point of fact is that what ended up happening was technology started advancing so quickly that I literally was at a Phillies game years ago, and my buddy was passed a fake $10 bill.
Did you even do the blind peck of DC yet?
No, we're going to get the rest of the
are we going to get to anything?
Yeah, we got to almost everything, Nick. Believe it or not.
Random is Key TV. How are you?
So Stevie B, it should be interesting. I am interested to see where that ends up, but there ain't no way you're starting a Bob Kane sketch at $125. There's just no way.
Yeah, I would hate to see somebody try that. All I notice is now suddenly there's
it's like that sports car they made in Afghanistan.
One of the guys,
it's got a Toyota Corolla engine in it.
One of the really well-known art collectors on Twitter is a guy named Josh Cruz in terms of like commissions and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. And he talks about how suddenly now there's commissions from people that haven't drawn or haven't been alive for years. And he's wondering how suddenly, all of a sudden, now there's like a 7,000% explosion in this stuff.
But you know what? This is the same. This is a issue that has existed way back in the day with artists, fine art type of artists like Van Gogh and things like that. Forgery is not a new thing. It's just much bigger than. Yeah, Jay Burns, that was a ticket scalper story. My boy was passed a fake 10, and visually you couldn't see it right away. You could see it later if you really examined it. It wasn't a very good one, but it was good enough. So, a certificate of authenticity is a piece of paper. So, JD, all sketches are from the collections of Nigerian princes. It's the company that issues it that where it has the most importance. Unfortunately, that's really the only way you can do it. But yeah, that's crazy. There's no way. But all right, let me get to the rest of the books here. All right, so we've got Amazing Spider-Man number 600, signed by John Romita Jr., and it is a wraparound cover, number 41 of 125. The unsigned version of this obviously is hard to come by. Certainly one signed by Romita Jr. is very difficult to get. And we have the one available for $69.99. All right. Then next up, one of Alex's favorites, Miles Morales, The End, number 1, signed in gold by Raza.
That's a really good read, too.
Say again?
That's a really good read, too. I like that one.
Suggested retail of $89.99. It is number 1 of 15 signed in gold. And we have that one available as a 5-star for $50. Yeah, Preston, your Van Gogh COA might not be legit, bro. Especially if it was signed by Van Gogh. All right. So then next up. So,
I just read this. It's so funny that we've had the End books. I told you this before the show started. For some reason, I don't know, like it came up like a thing on Marvel Unlimited, and I went down a rabbit hole. And the next thing, apparently Marvel's been doing End since the early 2000s. It's a thing they keep revisiting, right. And then they keep also revisiting Old Man.
Well, I guess it's not the End.
Or I keep waiting for like Old Woman Carol, although we did get Captain Marvel The End. They really seem to love telling the last story, but it's never actually the last story.
No, that's what I'm saying. So, all right, next up we have Action Comics number 1000, signed in silver.
Pizza still hasn't showed up.
You sure you ordered
our pizza showed up when we ate it at break. You ordered one too?
All right, Action Comics number 1000, signed in silver by Dan Jurgens. It's the 1950s variant cover.
Oh, nice.
Suggested retail is $69.99. And we have one available, signed in silver, for $38.19. Then we've got DC Nation number 0, signed by Brian Michael Bendis. Suggested retail of $29.99. We have the one available, number 10 of 225, signed. And we have it for $19.38. And if you try to mail in an issue and try to get Bendis' signature, it's probably going to cost you a heck of a lot more, $19.38. That's for sure.
Yeah, those things where you're mailing in books to get signed now, that's not as reasonable or cheap as it used to.
No, right?
No.
All right. So then we have Moon Knight.
That's the funky thing. You got to pay. You got to buy the book, pay to mail it in, pay for the signature, wait for it to come back, which could be months because they're pulling together a lot of books. Here, you buy it, you get the book, you get the certificate, shipped to your house.
All right. So next up, we have Moon Knight number 1, 2021 release. It is the 1 in 100 ratios Sienkiewicz variant, and we see it out there floating around for $100.
Let's do it for $50.
We have the one available now for $50. There we go. All right. So
I'm not tipping tonight.
$69.99. Don't take it out on the pizza.
You're gonna have to pay in comics.
Yeah, really.
All right.
Here's your pizza. Here are several issues of Red Sonja. You have a good night.
But not this week.
So then not this week, right?
All right. So then we have the DC.
What happened to our $50 Virgin covers?
We didn't put anything on tonight.
Why not?
Because we had so many Iron Fists.
That's not why.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we don't have no new books this week.
No wonder AR's shop had so few.
But literally, I didn't even ask for them today. I totally forgot.
Our printer screwed up. Hey guys, buy some books. Our printer screwed up. We have no new books in stores.
Not to forget the weekly.
Help me pay for the pizza.
Not to forget the weekly name drop, but I DM Thompson.
All right. Well, this is going to cost less. This is costing less than the pizza. DC Mystery 5-pack. 5 books with a retail value of $40, and we have the whole thing for $19.39. And this includes a book that is Book value is $15.
Nice, Joel. Thank you.
Very cool. All right. So then let's see. All right, and then
you know what? All I gotta say is thank God for Preston. I can afford a pizza. He bought enough Iron Fists.
I'm not sure on those prices.
No topping.
So
weren't
then,
they $8 each?
Yes.
Okay, I got enough for the pizza. No tip, but I got enough for the pizza. Well, actually, with the $1 for the Marvel Collectors item, that leaves about a 32-cent tip.
But it is a little weird that your pizza hasn't come.
I gotta say one thing though. If I really did pay $25 for $24.68 pizza, I better never expect to get a pizza that I want to eat ever again.
It's going to be in the parking lot. Yeah, I delivered your pizza, sir.
All right, so last item of the night, Amazing Spider-Man Mega Set. It includes Amazing Spider-Man number 238, facsimile CGC graded 9.8. Amazing Spider-Man number 677, signed by Mark Waid. And then Amazing Spider-Man number 1, Midtown J. Scott Campbell exclusive.
It's rare to get Mark Waid signing a Spider-Man.
It is. So that suggested retail of $149.97, and we have it for $100.
Spider fans, their moment has come.
All right, I think it is time for the Rex Cap.
Yeah.
The Rex Cap.
And I realize the price.
We need a Rex Cap.
I realize the price isn't necessarily for everybody.
I should get the cap first. That makes more sense.
Man, everybody else must be hungry too because we're hot.
Thank you,
Preston.
Nice.
Thank you.
The pizza guy thanks you.
Pizza guy will thank you.
I may or may not have a Stan Lee sign. My dad mailed in one of my Spider-Mans. He wrote, Eddie, your dad tells me you're number one fan. Spuddy says to say hello. You love our stories. Oh, my God.
Pretty sure Edward's dad did that.
Edward, let me tell you something. If Stan sent that, it's signed by Stan.
I would agree. And if you want to email us a pic of it, Nick has probably seen more Stanley autographs than any single person.
I was going to say, Nick has seen a lot of Stanley autographs. I would say before you start the Rex Cap, though, if I was going to buy something tonight, seriously, I would buy the omnibus books. Because these are things that they're not going. I mean, I realize the price point isn't like the buy of the night or anything, but these are things that are going to disappear. And then you've got a couple options. You get them digitally. You go and you find the magazines at shows and cons. Good luck with that. It took me years.
Yeah, good luck with that price too.
Yeah, and the prices of that too. Like I go in. I'm old enough to remember Planet of the Apes. Like the guy didn't even want the black and white magazines. He'd give it to you for like $5. Now you try to grab like Marvel Premiere with Blade or something, and it starts at like $90, and it's maybe a $5. So I would. My advice to people: I don't know if I would necessarily pass these by, if it's like the kind of thing you might be interested in.
So I want to say something weird though, buddy. No problem, Stargazer. We're getting ready to do a Rex Cap in a minute, so we'll catch you up on everything that's available. Ed Weird, listen, if it was done in the 70s, more than likely it's Stan's signature. But if it's not Stan's signature, then I would say it was probably your dad who did it to make you feel good.
Yeah.
What's the difference, right? So in the end, it doesn't really matter, does it? So that's kind of the way I look at it. All right. All right.
That's a good way to think about it.
Yes. Yeah, so either you have a personalized Stanley autograph, or you have something that your dad did for you to make you feel good. So either or, you're a winner there, in my opinion. All right, so let's do the Rex Cap. All right, so as usual, we have the Dynamite 10-pack reader set, 10 random Dynamite titles with a $3.99 cover price or higher. So suggested retail of $40 or higher, and as always, as a thank you to our viewers, $5 for the 10-pack. There will be 10 random Dynamite titles, 50 cents a copy. You can't go wrong there. Then we did Amazing Spider-Man number 600, signed by artist John Romita Jr. Wraparound cover, number 41 of only 125 signed, and we have the one available for $69.99. Then we had Miles Morales, The End, number 1, signed in gold by Raza. Suggested retail of $89.99. It is number 1 of 15 signed in gold. And we have the one available for $50. And then we have Action Comics number 1000, signed in silver by Dan Jurgens, 1950s variant cover. I like this cover. Suggested retail is $69.99. We have one available for $38.19. Then we had DC Nation number 0 signed by Brian Michael Bendis. Number 10 of only 225 signed, and suggested retail of $29.99. We have the one available for $19.38. Then we did Eternals number 1, Greg Land variant, signed in silver by Greg Land. Suggested retail of $69.99. It is number 2 of 10 signed in silver, and we have that for $20. Then we had Civil War number 1, Mao's variant, signed in silver by Charles Soule. Suggested retail $69.99. It is number 7 of 15 signed in silver. And we have the one available also for $20. And then we have Moon Knight number 1, 2021 1 in 100 Sienkiewicz variant. And we've seen it in the wild for about $100. And we have one available tonight for $50. Then we have the DC Mystery 5-pack. Okay. So I'm just going to throw it out there. It has just a retail of $40. JD, let's throw it up, buddy. It has Wonder Woman number 750, Nightwing number 1, Batman number 44, Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps number 1, and Dark Knight's Metals number 1. So that is the mystery pack, and we have it for $19.39 for all 5 books. Then we did Batman number 125, signed with fail-safe cover sketch by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $89.99, and we have the one available for $65. Then we had Batman number 125, signed with Batman cover sketch by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $89.99, and random is key. You got it, buddy. Let me find it here. Random is key. Cool. You got it, buddy. It's yours. All right, Sheldon. You got it. Reader's pack. Got you, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have about 6 or 7 books that are signed by Stan Lee over the years. I don't know if they were signed by Stan Lee or not. I know exactly one book I have was signed by Stan Lee because I watched him sign it. He was at a View Askew show in Red Bank. It's Kevin Smith's deal. And he signed a copy of Stan Lee Just Imagine Justice League for me.
All right.
And that's, you know what I mean? Like
right.
Everything else you pick up and, Stan Lee signed this book. Sure, okay. I'm good. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't.
All right, so Batman number 125 signed with Batman cover sketch by Ken Hazer, suggested retail of $89.99. We have the one available for $65. If you buy both of the Batman 125s, the fail-safe and the Batman cover sketches, Nick will do it for $120 for both books. Then we have Doctor Strange number 1 signed with Scream cover sketch by Geoffrey Gwynn and Mariana Nicieza. Suggested retail of $99.99, and we have the one available for $55. Stevie B, that's a riot.
Well, it's one of those things where I hate to say this, but I feel bad because someone's going to spend money for this, and the odds that it's legitimate.
Somebody's telling you they'll sell you a brand new Mercedes-Benz for $1,000. You should know that it's not a real Mercedes-Benz. Hey, Ken Hazer in the house. What's going on, my man?
Hey, Ken.
What's going on, buddy?
We can have you on the air again, buddy. All right, so then we've got Goblin Nation number 1 signed with Spidey cover sketch by Joe Del Beato, Mariano Nicieza. And we have the one available for $62.19.
Ken is going to log off when he sees the 37 things people want him to work on in the 2
I know,
hours.
right? Yeah, don't check the chats, Ken.
Gotta go by. Don't look back, man.
So, all right, so let's get through the Iron Fist books. So we still have available Iron Fist number 2. And we have the one available, presumed grade of a 4.5 for $10. Then we have Iron Fist number 3, presumed grade of 5.5, and we have the one available for $8. Then we have Iron Fist number 4, presumed grade of 5.5, and we have one available for $8. Then Iron Fist number 5, presumed grade of 5.5, and we have one available for $8.
Never tell me the odds. They're always 0 for Bob Kane sketches. Yeah, I know.
And then we have Iron Fist number 6, and presumed grade of 4.5. If we have one available for $7. Then we have Iron Fist number 7, presumed grade of 5.5, and we have one available for $8. Then we have Iron Fist number 9, presumed grade of 5.5, and we have one available for $8.
Never tell me the odds. They're always 0 for Bob.
Yeah, I was just like, come on.
And then we had Iron Fist number 11, presumed grade of 5.5, and we have one available for $8. Then we had the Amazing Spider-Man Mega Set. Includes Amazing Spider-Man number 238, facsimile edition, CGC graded 9.8. Amazing Spider-Man number 677, signed by Mark Waid. And Amazing Spider-Man number 1, Midtown J. Scott Campbell exclusive variant. Suggested retail $149.97, and you get all 3 books for $100 tonight.
I found out what happened to my pizza.
What happened to your pizza?
They got a new driver, and the guy got lost.
It's right around the corner.
They got a new driver, and the guy got lost.
Is this Angelo's?
I'm not saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the
Does
way,
he order anywhere else?
I'm going over to Asian Fusion to pick up my dinner when I'm done. So I'm going to go over there and say, yeah, my friend Nick passed out on the floor from lack of food.
Friday's show, everybody. Ronald, check this out. Ken, by the way, we got 2 requests from Jeff Wedding that we'll be hitting you up on.
And 18 from me.
First time ever. 18 from you.
Oh, wait. We have to do the contest.
Hurry up, the contest.
Amazing. Right. Hold on real quick.
Uh-huh.
Amazing. Just follow the anchovy smell. Ain't that the truth? Amazing Fantasy 15. And Ken drew this. Jesus, I'm terrible. Yeah, please. Yeah. What happened to that salad, Nick?
It's rolling around the neighborhood somewhere.
Yeah, there we go. So Friday, I want to see some Star Wars Mandalorian full figure and wraparound CCAs. Ronald, I will talk to Ken, and hopefully we'll have them next week or the week after. This will be on the air on Friday, the first time ever that we've had an Amazing Fantasy 15 CCA.
That's too cool. Man.
And Ken, we donated the books. Ken donated the art after Kirby. All the money's going to go to Fat Jacks. So this will be on Friday. So
all right. So there you go. That will be on Friday, 7 p.m. on the EXP
and on Amazing
Eastern time.
And on Amazing Spider-Man 800 when Peter Parker comes back as Spider-Man, Mr. Doc Ock.
All right, so we're gonna run the contest, folks, because we're getting a little late on time.
Okay.
All right.
First place, spam.
Yeah. First place.
Listen, if this pizza doesn't show up soon, this is what I'm eating.
Well, there you go. John will tell you how to prepare it.
How do you prepare it? Can you eat it raw?
Yes.
That's probably not the best way to do it.
No.
You have a hot plate here.
All right, so we have 2 red Sonia cards. All right, that's our giveaway. All right, so the trivia question, and the first person to throw up the right number is going to be the winner. So the question is, how many times has John seen Avatar, The Way of Water?
In theaters or with his screening copy?
In theaters.
How many times has John seen before he gets arrested here? Okay.
When did it come out?
Jay Burns, that is incorrect. And his employee, you cannot play. Hold on.
Can I ask you a question?
CVB, incorrect. Marcus, incorrect.
Wait, when did it come out?
Incorrect.
A month ago.
Easy Go Lucky, incorrect. Joel, incorrect. CJ Design, incorrect.
Sheldon, no way. That's
Sheldon
correct.
Is the winner.
Sheldon's the winner.
Sheldon is the winner. That is the second time he has won.
You never saw.
I'm sorry, Marvel number 1 Marvel fan. You missed it. You missed it. He came in just Ken Hazer 83.
I cannot stand
that may be a little off, Ken.
I cannot stand Avatar. I have no interest in seeing it whatsoever.
Wow. Sheldon, you guessed the one from Monday too, right, bud?
I'm gonna be honest. That actually surprises me.
I know. That's why I thought it was going to be a good question.
Now, M3.
All right, so you're
what Marcus wrote.
All right, so number 1.
It's really just not covered by
the Regal card. No, they asked for money. That's crazy.
So number 1 Marvel fan, because Sheldon won on Monday.
Nice.
You are now the winner. But here, this is very important. JD, if you could throw up the submission form, we need you to fill out that submission form.
Yeah, I don't like to be screened by Amy. At least not for this.
Well, we need to know your real name and then a ship to address for the prize. So please, JD will yeah, right. JD, we'll throw it there. It is.
Look at that. Stargazer's also getting a Dynamite pack and Miles Morales.
All right, hold on.
Thank you, Stargazer.
So, Stargazer, you got it, buddy.
No, I really can't wait for this pizza.
Call and ask for anchovies.
Dude, I already asked for anchovies. Are you kidding me?
You got it, Stargazer. Also, if you wouldn't mind, fill out the submission form as well.
On Monday, I got half anchovies, half green peppers, and pepperoni. Well done.
Of course, it's got to be well done.
And I sat there and said, I could really just eat more anchovies because 2 slices were for Rex. So I ended up having eaten some pepperoni and green pepper and onions. So
when they open their dining room, we have to go over and see my friend.
You can tell I eat more than 2 slices of pizza. So
all right, so there you go.
Guys, sorry everybody. I am just
don't forget the extra sauce.
Avatar is not my thing. That's a franchise. I love James Cameron. I love a lot of the stuff he's done. I hate James Cameron. That's one that's just.
Well, what's funny is that when the first thing I asked John when he came through the door was we're going to run this contest. So I asked him how many times you've seen it. When he said 0, I'm like, what?
All right, but next time,
made it an even better one.
Here's the question: next time that he goes to see a movie, instead of asking him how many times he saw the movie, ask him how many buckets of popcorn did you have?
Probably not that many. He orders Grubhub, dude.
I was say he eats real food.
And they bring it to the lobby, and I take it in with me.
They let you do that?
Well,
when it's John, what are they going to do, dude?
Let is the right word.
He walks into Regal. Hey, Bob. Hey, Jane. What's going on? How's the kids?
I'll give you this analogy.
Stargazer wants to form, please.
JD, if you could throw that up again, buddy.
It's like this. Do you let me harass your creators on social media, or does it just kind of happen naturally?
I can't hear that because if I hear it.
There it is. All right. And Stargazer, I'm going to throw my email up in the chat. You are always welcome to email me if there are any questions that you may have.
I'm certainly not telling anyone else to do this. But since the pandemic in these movie theaters, we've talked about this for all jokes aside, Regal's holding company had to file for bankruptcy protection. Some of the other companies are not doing well. They are not quite as strict as they used to be. You'll see a mom come in with 6 kids, and mom has a Starbucks coffee about this big that she's paid $9 for. Some kid getting less than $9 an hour is not going to tell mom that, that she can't bring that in. It's just not going to happen. He doesn't want the hassle, and even the manager doesn't want the hassle, especially if she's gone to the concession stand and her kids have soda and popcorn and Twizzlers and Milk Duds and whatever, right? She's already dropped $50 or $60 in there.
Hey,
when you spend
JD, can you throw my email up? It somehow blocked it when I tried to put it in the chat. Just so Stargazer has it. I'm sorry.
Oh, John. Your email is blocked? You know what that's like, right? When they see you have the Regal Unlimited Premium, they're just like, all right, man, just don't put it in my face. They don't care if you come in with like a Tupperware bento box of sushi or whatever. They prefer not to know. They don't.
Where he goes, he used to hide snacks in our daughter's coat hood.
Nice.
I still remember the days going to drive-in.
Kid hold this.
And my mom would throw a blanket, and I'd lie down on the floor of the back seat so they could. Yeah.
Do you know how good it was when your father drove a lunch truck and you went to a drive-in movie in the lunch truck? Hey, pal, do you want hot dogs? No, man, I'm having a meatball sandwich. Get out of here.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, we'd have people come over to the truck. We'd be watching a movie. And they'd knock to see if my dad still had, you know what I mean? Hey, are you still selling sandwiches? My father's like, no, I'm watching a movie. Get out of here. This guy had cash. And it was like, oh, yeah, here's a couple of sandwiches.
Hold
up. Cash was a different story.
All right, so thank you, everybody, for being here tonight, as always. We love our viewers. Thank you to Alec, obviously. It's nice to have John back finally.
Alec dropped us back off the home.
Yeah, man, I'm glad you're feeling a lot better too.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man. Again, thank you to everyone who reached out. A bunch of people in the community reached out. It's much appreciated. Sorry about my voice tonight. Hopefully, by next week I'll be, like 100%, right? Which is 10% of
God
a
help us
person.
all.
Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it.
All right. So don't forget, check out Alex's channel, AR_comics on YouTube. Nick will be here on Friday on the EXP.
He's still waiting on that pizza.
Yeah, right. And he'll still be here waiting on that pizza. 7 p.m. on Friday, Eastern time.
Wait, don't get off the air?
Nick just said don't get off the air.
Did you know that every experience show, including some exclusive content, streams on Twitch? Check it out. Twitch.tv/the_E